What's up, tribe? Can y'all see me and hear me okay? I'm having this connection is really bad. I might need to go out and come back in. This, I don't know, it keeps pausing or something. I don't know what's going on. My internet, y'all, I'm so sick of this internet. I don't know if it's the internet or StreamYard, but I'm sick of both of them. It's just really irritating me. Let me know. Can y'all, it's a bit fuzzy. Yeah, that's what it's doing on my end too. All right, hold on. Let me go out and come back in. I don't know. Give me a second, y'all. Give me a second. Let me go out and come back in. Hey, Don. Hey, y'all. Give me a second. I'm sorry. You can hear me? All right. Maybe I just need to turn the camera off. Maybe I need to just cut the camera off. But it still looks like it's a delay even with the camera off. Hold on. Let me turn off this background. Maybe the background isn't helping. Let me just put a regular background up here. Maybe I just put a regular background. Okay, is that better? It's still a little blurry, isn't it? Yeah, maybe it's that background. I don't know. It looks like it's a little bit better now that I just put a plain background on here. Okay. All right, y'all. I'm sorry about that. Come on in, you guys. Hey, everybody. Welcome. Yeah, somebody said they've been waiting on this live for 2 days. Yeah, I was going to do it yesterday morning. And then I pushed it back to last night, and I was out last night. So I said, well, let me do it today. So my apologies, you guys. I had friends in from out of town, and, I just had a lot going on this weekend. So I didn't really have a lot of free time. I was trying to slide it in, but it didn't quite work. So we are here now, though. So listen, y'all know I told y'all I'm no longer engaging in the day-to-day of the Diddy situation. But when something major happens or something I think is important happens, I will come down and share. I just can't keep going over lawsuits saying the same old. At this point, either you believe it or you don't. And that's really all I can do. You know what I'm saying? But tap on the screen and you'll let me know. So on Friday, the AUSA filed a response to Diddy's team wanting to revisit the bond situation, and so they did submit that, and it is it's the total document that I have is like 100 and something pages. We are not going over 100 and something pages. We are only going to go over the stuff that I think you guys care about, the stuff that I care about, where the state is alleging that Diddy is still engaging in obstruction, even behind bars, and they detail how, the what, the when, the where of how that's happening and what their belief is. Diddy does have a bail hearing coming up, I believe November the 22nd. So that is this week. So it'll be very interesting to see how that goes, if he does or does not get a bond, right? I did tell you guys, don't be surprised if he gets bond. However, I am going to sort of change my mind after this information, because it seems like even from behind bars, he still don't know how to act, which, bruh. And I'm going to be honest, this is my opinion. And once again, shout out to Tracy, because Tracy got me this document. So shout out to Tracy. If y'all want to tip her, y'all know what to do. Y'all drop something in my because she dropped something in my Cash App, and I'll forward it to her, because she is not going to drop her own Cash App, and I'll respect that by not dropping her Cash App for her. But Tracy knows at any point in time she can drop her Cash App if she wants, y'all can tip her. But if y'all want to tip Tracy, y'all send it to me and I'll make sure I get it to her. Okay. So with that being said, we are going to go over the stuff that talks about the obstruction. Now, I am going to say this, my opinion. This is my opinion. He's acting like a man that's nervous. I'm not saying he acting guilty, because I can't put no guilt on nobody. But he is certainly acting like a man that's nervous. He is definitely acting nervous. So with that being said, let's get into it. Let me share my screen. Tracy said the bar is open. She said she had the drink of today is Tito's and lemonade. Okay, Tito's and lemonade. So she said the bar is open. My VIPs, as always, y'all head on over. People lit up in green. Y'all head on over to the VIP room. And y'all know we definitely have the upstairs lounge open because, baby, shall we talk about Diddy? What we gonna do? He gonna be eating jailhouse turkey and dressing. He gonna have that turkey sandwich. Nah, he acting guilty. All these tricks and schemes are coming through. Well, you can say that. You can say that, boo. I'm just saying, he's definitely acting nervous. He is acting nervous. As always, make sure you guys are getting your Black Girl vitamins using discount code ReallyBTV. Thank you to those who have ordered. Thank you to those that want to order, that will order. I appreciate all of the support. So we are starting on page 20 because, baby, I just read through a lot of the stuff, and y'all know these legal documents. They have to give you the background, and they had to regurgitate all the things that happened with Diddy getting arrested and the charges. Hey, Nay, hey, boo, and all of those things. So I'm starting at page 20 because that's what y'all really came to hear. Y'all didn't come to hear about all them statutes and stuff. Y'all wanted to hear this juice. Okay, so let's get into the juice. Let me make this a little bit bigger. And I'm going to make it bigger on the screen so you guys can sort of read along with me. I'll make it a little bit bigger on the screen. Let me put myself behind. Let me do this. All right, so it's a little bit bigger. Okay. Katrina said he's not getting no bail because he's an idiot because everyone knows not to talk business on the jail call, and they played the heck out of him because all three-way calls are interpreted, but they let him. Xavier said we need 90 more likes, y'all. We have 100 people in the room. Can we get at least? Well, he want 90 likes, so I'm gonna let him. You get the 90 likes, boo. You get the 90 likes. I feel like the pimento cheese Cheeto will be getting Diddy bailed out. See, I don't know, honey. I don't know. All right, let's read through this document. So again, I'm starting on page 20, where it's talking about. Now they're listing all the reasons why the state, not the state, the AUSA is listing all the reasons why Diddy should not get bail. So we're starting at number 3 because number 3, that's the good stuff. Okay. There is 1 and 2, and 1 and 2 basically says they really haven't presented any new information than what they presented the first time around, yada, yada, yada. But here's where I keep wanting to say the state, but we know this isn't the state. Here's where the federal government is saying, they may not have given us any new information. However, we have some new information. Now, remember, Diddy's attorneys did say that they were going to be submitting some new information that would change things. But as of the time of this live, I don't see where they've submitted anything. Now, they've alluded to that it deals with one of the victims, and that they've talked about that Cassie video where Diddy assaulted her, how there's more to that story and everything isn't what it seems. And I'm going to just say this, and I mean this with all the sincerity in my heart. I promise you, I don't care what happened before we saw that video. I don't care what happened after we saw that video. What we saw in that video was absolutely vicious. And I don't care. I really don't. So I don't care if Cassie was trying to set Diddy up. I don't care if they were already fighting in the room and Cassie hit him upside the head with a vase. I don't care. I just don't. I really don't care. What we saw in that video was I'm sorry. And maybe other people, maybe there are people that feel differently, but I'm just not one of those people. So there's that. Okay. The government is saying it's information they already had. Hey, Candy Loves TV. All right, so let's get into it. Let me read you guys. So number 3 says the defendant poses a serious risk of obstruction, danger, and flight. For the reasons discussed above, the defendant has not met his burden of demonstrating that he is entitled to a hearing under yada, yada, yada. Accordingly, the court needs not make a determination regarding the defendant's risk of flight or dangerousness. However, even if the court were to analyze the factors and yada, 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 again, the court should continue the defendant's pretrial detention because no condition or combination of conditions can assure the defendant's appearance and the safety of the community, nor can conditions prevent the defendant's continued obstructive efforts. The incorporated submissions and arguments presented to Judge T and Judge Carter amply support those findings, and they have the exhibits attached. And as described further below, the argument for detention has only gotten stronger. And here's why they're saying it. The defendant has continued his efforts to obstruct justice. As noted above, the evidence presented to Judge T and Judge Carter amply supported their findings, and the defendant posed a risk of obstruction justifying pretrial detention and would be sufficient for this court to find the same. However, to the extent that there was any doubt about the defendant's risk of obstruction at the time of the prior bail hearings, such doubt is now non-existent. Since the defendant has been detained at MDC, he has continued to try to evade law. So some of this stuff is redacted because it involves other inmates. But right here, let me read you this footnote. It says, since the defendant's arrest, the government has continued investigating the defendant's obstructive conduct and began receiving recordings of the defendant's BOP calls in October of 2024. These calls in their entirety will be produced to the defendant through a filter team prior to the bail hearing scheduled for November 22nd, 2024. The government did not previously disclose these recordings due to its ongoing investigation, but is doing so now given the recent escalation in the defendant's efforts to influence the jury pool in this criminal case set out in detail below. So basically they were like, yeah, your attorneys didn't know about this information, but they're going to know now. And yes, we have been monitoring you ever since you was arrested and put behind bars, okay? We have been keeping our eye on you, sir. Specifically, while in custody at the MDC, the defendant has repeatedly communicated with others in ways that violate the BOP rules and are designed to evade BOP and law enforcement monitoring, including, as described below, using PAC numbers belonging to other inmates to make calls, using three-way calls to contact other individuals, including individuals who are not on his approved contact list. Now, remember when Diddy begged in court, his attorneys begged and said, Your Honor, if you let him go home, not only will we put an ankle monitor on him and he'll be on house detention, we'll limit the amount of people that will come and see him. We'll only let the people come and see him that you approve, that'll be on an approved list. You can't even stick to your approved phone call list in jail. We're supposed to think that you're going to stick to an approved visitors list when you out of jail? I mean, if I was the attorney, that's what I'd be thinking. Okay. And using an unauthorized third-party communication system to send messages to numerous individuals, including unauthorized contacts. So you are out here calling people you're not supposed to be calling on three-way, and you're using a system that's not even approved, like an outside system. I mean, my goodness. My goodness. Hey, Lexi. Hey, C. Golden. Sweet Pea. Hey, Boo. Hey, everybody coming in. Hey. Hit that like button. Y'all know I can't see the chat, but y'all hit that like button. Now, listen. There's 149 of y'all. I'm reading, so I'm not looking at the chat. You know, if you're a member, you can use your membership chat so that it lights up and I'll see it when I come back to the screen. Anybody else, you guys can use a super chat. I'm not telling y'all got to spend no money, but I'm saying sometimes if the chat is moving, I don't see everything. So don't get mad if I don't read your comment. That's all I'm saying. Okay. The government has received dozens of recordings of BOP jail calls in which the defendant uses telephone accounts of at least 8 other inmates. Y'all, 8. Not one, not his bunkmate, not the dude across the hall. Although I believe that Diddy is in 24. What they call it? 23. What they say? 23-1, where he's in solitary. So he's really not having a lot of. Let me ask this. Let me hold on, because y'all know I gotta say stuff while I'm thinking about it. From my understanding, Diddy is in solitary, right? Which means that he is by himself 23 hours a day. He's only out 1 hour, but he is not protected, but he is not with the general pop. So how did he get access to 8 other inmates to get their information to use it? I mean, I'm just asking for a friend. How did he get access to all of this other information if he is not in Gen Pop? And we know he's not in Gen Pop. Diddy is not in Gen Pop. Let's just listen. Diddy is not, mopping the floors. He ain't on the child line. Diddy is not in Gen Pop, y'all. Let's just call a thing a thing. How he get access to not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, but 8 other inmates' PIN number to make phone calls? I'm just asking for a friend. All right, let me keep reading. Seemingly to avoid law enforcement monitoring, the defendant uses other inmates' PAC numbers to make calls to both individuals on the defendant's approved contact list, as well as other individuals who are not on the approved contact list. To obtain or maintain access to other inmates' PAC numbers, the defendant directs others to pay the inmates, including through payment processing apps. So is he cash shopping now? Is he sending these people Zales? Damn it, Diddy. And their commissary account deposits. So you put money on their commissary and you sending their baby mama's cash apps. They auntie Zales. You got some PayPals going on too? The defendant knows that this is against the BOP regulations. On the outset of each phone call, the inmate is prompted to enter. Hold on. To prompt the defendant is, the inmate is prompted to enter his PAC number, after which an automated recording announced sharing of PAC numbers is against BOP policy. So, what you telling me is when he picking up the phone, he putting in somebody else's PIN number. So he know from the door he's doing something wrong. Then they play a recording at the beginning of every call to remind him that what he's doing. Yeah. Can't make this shit up. This nigga. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna keep reading. Somebody say, really, B, just keep reading. Okay, I'm gonna keep reading. I stole that from Thais. Lord, I've been watching too much Thais. I stole that from Thais, y'all. Shout out to my boo Thais. Thais. They say what? Thais? They said Thais, keep reading. Okay, Thais. Okay. Really, B, keep reading. Okay, I'm gonna keep reading. Here's the footnote. I'm gonna read this footnote. When an inmate enters federal custody, he is generally permitted to communicate with out-of-custody individuals, including friends and family members. To do so, inmates provide a contact list, which includes the individual's names, phone number, and email address. Staff must approve individuals on the contact list, and inmates are not authorized to contact individuals who are not on the list. Additionally, telephone calls and emails to non-attorneys are monitored by BOP to ensure that the messages do not jeopardize the public or the safety, security, or orderly operation of the facility. When inmates make telephone calls, they are required to use a PAC number or phone access code that is connected to their unique BOP register number. Inmates access email using TrueLinks system, which is operated by a company called CoreLinks. TrueLinks is a fee-based system that inmates must pay for to send or receive email during using the TrueLink computer system. So basically what they're saying is there's absolutely no ifs, ands, or buts that this Negro knew what he was doing was wrong. That's okay, Sabrea. I love you, boo. It's all right. Listen. I understand. It's all good. It's all good. Okay, moving right along. Let me keep reading. The defendant also frequently instructs individuals whom he contacts by telephone, including family members and his attorneys, to add other individuals via three-way. This practice is also not authorized by the BOP as it helps conceal the identities of the contacted individuals. The government has reviewed multiple calls in which the defendant has instructed others to dial in third parties, including members and associates of the enterprises and individuals who are not on the defendant's contact list. Now, listen. A lot of us have done that. You got a friend in jail, a cousin, uncle, friend, and they be like, yo, call my girl. Call my dude. Call somebody. People do it. You're not supposed to do it. So if you're doing it, stop. Because you're going to be in jail. All right. Non-authorized messaging services. In addition to flouting BOP rules regarding phone use, the defendant also uses a non-authorized third-party messaging service called Contact Me ASAP. Damn it. Is that the name of the... Has anybody ever heard of this app? Contact Me ASAP. Does somebody... Tracy, you know a lot of thugs. Have you heard of this? Contact Me ASAP. I have never heard of this app before. Oh. It's called Contact Me ASAP. Okay. To obscure his communications, the defendant appears to be using two, and he got two accounts. He said, one isn't enough. One isn't enough. I'm going to do two accounts. First, the defendant's BOP contact list includes a particular email address assigned to the defendant's son, which does not appear to be an account owned by the defendant's son, but instead appears to be an email address. Wait a minute, hold on. First, the defendant's contact includes a particular email address assigned to the defendant's son, which does not appear to be an account owned by the defendant's son. So you use your son's email address, but somebody else set up the account. That's what it sounds like to me. So you use your son's email address, but somebody else set it up. Second, the defendant appears to be using another inmate's Contact Me. So you made up a Fugazi account with your son's name on it, and then you using another inmate's account. Primarily using email one, the defendant has exchanged hundreds of text messages via Contact Me ASAP with dozens of individuals, including attorneys and individuals who are not on the defendant's contact list. Why would your attorney condone it? Does the attorney know? Because it didn't say it's his attorney for this case. It said attorneys. We know Diddy probably got 5,000 attorneys at this point, child. Wow. Okay. The defendant's repeated circumvention, big word, of BOP regulations starting almost immediately after arriving at MDC speaks volumes about his ability to comply with any conditions of his release. Hold on. Let me read this footnote, and then I'm going to come back to something else. According to the Contact Me ASAP website, the service purports to be an innovative text messaging service for federal inmates to communicate with loved ones via real-time messages and claims to offer seamless SMS conversation. Contact Me ASAP provides an email address for the inmate, which is then put in the inmate's TrueLink's computer, and from there, the inmate can immediately use the service to text contacts. So it sounds like they can do it from the computer. When they have access to the computer, they can send these messages. So I have a couple of questions. And contrary to what y'all think, I'm not that familiar with the criminal justice system. Okay. Contrary to what y'all think. So question number one. We know that Diddy's been accused of thugging out here in these streets. But Diddy ain't been behind nobody's bars. Diddy ain't been in jail. Diddy ain't been behind nobody's bars. And as far as we know, Diddy is not conversing with a whole lot of people that are in jail. So explain to me how he was able to set this stuff up. They said damn near as soon as he walked in the door. Who told him how to do this? Who told him how to set all this stuff up? Somebody told you how to get all this stuff set up and who to do what and how to do what. And I'm still stuck on how did he get 8 different inmates in private information? They PIN numbers and stuff. Kim said he knew he was going in. He already had it set up, Kim. His mentors taught him. Ooh, the baby mama. The people he visited before his arrest. He got thug friends. Oh, y'all cutting up in the chat. Okay. I see it. Okay. Y'all cutting up in the chat. So, okay. The jail cops. Ooh. Ooh, ooh. Did you say the jail cops, Liberia Rose? Ooh. Okay. Okay. Let's keep going. They def have someone who know how the system works. He got goons. Yeah, he got goons. He got goons, Abby. Hey, boo. All right, let me finish reading through here. Child. Even more concerning, however, is the defendant's use of these unauthorized methods of communications to continue his efforts to obstruct and subvert this criminal proceeding. The defendant's intentions are reflected in his own words on BOP calls with a network of family members and associates whom the defendant has tasked with executing his will. On multiple calls, often using the PAC numbers of other inmates, the defendant is explicit about his intentions to use public statements to alter perception, and that's redacted. The defendant leaves no doubt that the narrative he wants to redact it is the potential jury pool perception of this criminal proceeding. That's a lot of redacted stuff here, child. Examples of these efforts are plentiful, and then they got all that's redacted. They don't want us to know, child. Notably, the defendant continued these efforts after the court's October the 25th order requested by the defense prohibiting exactly this sort of conduct. After the court entered the order, the defendant enlisted family members to plan and execute a social media campaign around the defendant's birthday with the intention of influencing the potential jury in this criminal proceeding. At the defendant's carefully curated direction, the defendant's children posted a video to their respective social media accounts showing the defendant's children gathered to celebrate the defendant's birthday. The defendant then monitored the analytics, i.e., audience engagement, and explicitly discussed with his family how to ensure that the video had its desired effect on the potential jury members in this case. So that whole happy birthday, daddy, that was orchestrated. I am shocked. I am shocked. What? It was a scheme that Todd set up to come to us with the bullshit. We almost done, y'all. Let's keep reading. The defendant doesn't stop there. Hold on. Oh, it's a whole lot of stuff redacted, child. During Lord, sorry, y'all. The thing is scrolling so fast. During other calls, the defendant makes clear his intention to anonymously publish information that he thinks will help his defense in this case. Bruh. The defendant's efforts to anonymously leak video favorable to his defense in this case show that he is using his so-called public relations strategy to influence this criminal case. The defendant's efforts to obstruct the integrity of this proceeding also includes relentless efforts to contact potential witnesses, including victims of his abuse who could provide powerful testimony against him. For example, on October the 4th of 2024, in a call involving the defendant and one of his adult sons, the defendant says, and they redacted what he said. Oh, Lord, all of this is redacted, child. They got the word for word transcript in here, but it's redacted. We can't read it. We can't read it. Okay. Okay, hold on. Okay. I guess all of that provides the clear interference that the defendant's goal is to blackmail victims and witnesses either into silence or providing testimony hopeful to his defense. So Diddy is still behind bars trying to blackmail people? I am shocked. I am so shocked. The defendant is a danger to others. All right. In addition to failing to meaningfully contend with the ongoing risk of obstruction, the defendant poses. He also spends no time addressing the significant acts of physical violence that the government highlighted in their initial hearing, which led Judge Carter to conclude the defendant is a danger to the safety of others in the community more generally by clear and convincing evidence. Indeed, as the record before this court makes clear, the defendant's long history of violence demonstrates his dangerousness. Moreover, contrary to the defendant's claim that the evidence is thin, evidence supporting the defendant's long history of abuse include witness testimony, communications, photos and videos, police reports, and other materials demonstrate the strength of the government's case. As charged in the indictment, the defendant engaged in physical Okay, we already know all of this. Hold on. Let me scroll. We know all that about him beating, the physical abuse. Okay, they still talking about the video, child. We know about the video, child. Hold on. Defendant continues to pose a risk of flight. The defendant has not rebutted the presumption that there are no conditions to assure his future appearance, given the fact that the defendant faces a mandatory minimum sentence of 15 years in prison with a statutory maximum sentence of life in prison. So they go on to talk about that, and then they say the defendant's new bail package is insufficient. I don't think there's any bail package that they could come up with that the government would think is sufficient. So they just go into all of that. Hold on. I want to make sure we covered everything. Okay. And there's the conclusion. Now I want to say this. Y'all, let me say this. I am flabbergasted, Abby. My pearls were clutched. I think whoever gave him the pen is the same person bringing him substances because he has not had withdrawals yet. He did have withdrawals. We talked about that. Remember when they were talking about him not eating and stuff? Remember I told y'all that it wasn't that he wasn't eating. It was his body going through withdrawal. Remember I told you that? Yeah. So he's been through withdrawal. That doesn't mean he's not getting anything. That doesn't mean he's not getting any substances, but he definitely was going through when he first got there. He definitely was. Yeah. So Tough Media said the government's case is weak. I think that social media is hurting his case. Yeah, I definitely feel like social media is hurting his case. Do I think his case, the government's case is weak? I don't know about weak. I don't think it's what everybody thinks is going to be. Like, everybody keeps bringing in all these other things. Remember what he is being charged with, you guys. And we have to stay away from all of the things that we've read in the paper and we've read in the press and stuff. He has not been charged with drugs, possession. He's not been charged with trafficking or anything like that. We have to keep our eye on what he's been charged with. I don't know. We honestly can't say how strong or weak the case is until we really get into discovery, because the government isn't going to tip their full hand. I mean, we know a lot of what the government has told us is what's in the public. That doesn't mean that's all that the government has. And honestly, if the best defense that Diddy's people can come up with is the girls wanted to be there and the girls were cool with it and the girls were down with it, or guys, I don't know. That doesn't mean that he'll be convicted. Again, if this, based on what they've given us, somebody just said something I wanted to read. Hold on. Oh, right there, Harlem, New York. I think there'll be a superseding indictment with more information. I definitely think that that's a possibility, that there'll be a superseding indictment. I agree with you on that. Tough Media Production says the freak off was him and Cassie thing. All those bogus people claim it. Wait a minute, I don't understand what you're saying. The freak off was him and Cassie thing. All those bogus people claim it. That doesn't make sense. Tough Media Production. I don't understand your sentence. Rewrite it, please, so I know what you're saying, baby. I don't understand your sentence. The original indictment had only one victim. There are two victims now. Yeah, because they have to wade through all of these lawsuits. Again, we've already talked about that some of these lawsuits, we know that some of these lawsuits are, y'all know. So yeah. So with that being said, well, we know Cassie's name is all up and through the lawsuit, so we know Cassie is going to be a witness. I mean, she's all up and through there. The problem is that the public doesn't understand that an indictment is stated broadly. The government does not state everything specifically to the laypersons. Right, exactly, Just John. They're not going to give us their whole case. They're damn sure not going to give us their whole case, going way back. From the door. Tough Media, okay, you're saying there were no mass freak-offs. I disagree. But, isn't there text messages between him and Cassie that says differently? That says differently about what, Kim? Are you talking to me or talking to somebody in the chat? Are we talking about I'll Be Sure and his antics? No, I'm not saying nothing about I'll Be Sure. I ain't got nothing to do, child. I ain't got nothing to do with I'll Be Sure. Dude, please stop making excuses for Diddy. Piss poor behavior. Ooh. Yeah, I don't think that the reports of Diddy's parties, first of all, if you go back to the indictment, Tough Media Productions, go back to the indictment where the government talked about having evidence of this being something that has happened over time in various locations. They talked about hotels where they have documentation of things going on, where they have documentation of things getting broken and people having to come in with money and paying in cash. They do have documentation of they have documentation about various parties. So, I mean, I don't know what you're saying that you said there was no mass, because that's in the indictment. It's in the indictment that there were parties over time that didn't include Cassie, that included other people. Remember they talked about the hotel rooms and they have dates that they've coincided people's accounts of stuff that happened with the dates, and they were able to coincide stripper poles being put into the room, and all these different women coming in and being paid and all that kind of stuff. Now, does that automatically equal illegal activity? It doesn't. But to say that there wasn't this large thing of freak offs, I disagree. You said you're referring to Cassie. Okay, media. I don't understand what you're saying, baby, and I'm not trying to be difficult. I honestly don't understand. You said you're talking about just Cassie. So I don't. I don't understand what you're saying. Diddy damn near admitted to wild after parties. Other people have said so as well. They just didn't realize that they were spilling at the time. Yeah, yeah. I'm not being funny. I just don't understand what you're saying because you're not writing in complete thoughts. You're just, and I don't know what you're saying. So if you're referring to Cassie, are you saying that with Cassie there was no freak offs? Is that what you're saying? Well, go back to Cassie's original lawsuit. Go back to Cassie's original lawsuit. And again, you don't have to believe her lawsuit, and that's fine. But go back to her lawsuit. She was very detailed in talking about the variety of things that happen over time with very specific examples of what would happen, how it would happen, and all of that. So again, you don't have to believe what's being said. But to say that there's nothing there, I disagree with that. Between the indictment and Cassie's lawsuit, which I think most of us believe Cassie's lawsuit, right? Most of us do. So we can't say all of these other lawsuits, you may or may not believe all of these other lawsuits. But I don't know. It was all jokes and fun until charges and lawsuits came. Right, just Jonda, right. Heck, Cassie was leading the freak off. Oh, wow. He's saying that Cassie was the only one involved in the free calls. That's what he's trying to say? Oh, that's not true. I don't agree with that statement. Okay. I think the problem is that not every freak off situation can be classified as SA, but there's definitely multiple. You know what, Xavier? I think that is a perfect way of saying that. Again, am I saying that every single party that Diddy had was a freak off? No. We know that he just had parties. He liked to party. But did Diddy have these type of freak offs? I think he did. Now, am I saying that every single party meant that there was illegal activity or there was SA going on? I'm not saying that. Right? So, yeah, allegedly there were, SEX workers there. So, yeah. What about his sons? What about him? What you mean? Team Cancer, you said, what about his sons? What about him? Really be his lawyers can say he knows too many people in New York City. Getting a jury pool that doesn't feel something about what they heard as it pertains to New York City is impossible. Well, they're going to have to do what they got to do. I mean, Diddy is an international figure. Like, they may file for a change of jurisdiction, but where are they going to go? Like, there's nowhere to go where you say, well, Diddy, people don't know Diddy and people don't have a opinion. Like there's just, I mean, that would be an unreal thing to say, oh, I don't know who Diddy is. Oh, I don't know anything about Diddy. Like at this point, and you may not have all of the details. You may not be following the case, like, word for word down the line, but child, what's going on with Diddy. Yeah. And Dawn actually says she witnessed these things as well. And remember, Kalina is one of the people that Diddy reached out to, that allegedly he paid, that allegedly he reached out to, and as it relates to basically coming out and saying she didn't see anything, Diddy's great, she ain't had no problems with Diddy. You know what I mean? So let me see here. Hold on. Let me go here. Let me go back to the lawsuit for a second, because I did skip over. Let me go back to something that was at the top, not the lawsuit, this response, because at the beginning it does talk about the phone calls to Kalina. It sort of just, I mean, we already talked about that before, but it sort of goes over that again, and it does speak to Kalina being paid. It does speak to that. I know a lot of YouTubers are kind of leading with that. So that is in here. I just didn't read that section, but that is in here as it alludes to Kalina being paid for her defense of him. I don't think they have a fact there. I think they just alluded to that being the case based on the phone calls and, you know, some other things that they were able to catch up. Yeah, allegedly he called her 100 times in 3 days. Exactly. Like, sir, you calling somebody 100 times in 3 days. There's a reason. There's a reason why you calling somebody 100 times in 3 days. Like, there's no mistake about that, you know. So yeah. All right, let me check to see if I got anything from my eye in the sky. Y'all know my eye in the sky is subscribed to the channel. They may or may not have something to say, honey. Let's see. Let's see. No. Okay. They have the phone calls and the money deposited into her account the day after she made the post. Yeah. Yeah. That's why I said they have the, you know, they have the details. So yeah, that's in there as well, you guys. I just, like I said, I didn't read that because that's already, you know, other YouTubers have already covered that. But yeah, they do have him sort of dead to rights with the whole Kalina thing. So Kalina, you better watch your back, girl. Like, I don't know if they're going to play hardball with you and they're going to force you to testify or whatever. I don't know. But girl, you in danger. Girl, you in danger. All right, y'all. We're going to get off of here. I will be back tonight for the Real Housewives of Potomac on my review channel. I may try to get a tribe meeting in. But let me say this, and I waited to say this at the end. But and please hit that like button on your way out the door. I'm gonna be honest, Kim. Prior to Friday, if you had asked me if I thought he was gonna get bail, my answer would have probably been yes. But after this information, I don't know. I mean, if I'm the judge, I mean, how do you, unless I don't know how you walk away from that. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. If it were me, it's okay, Angela Boo. If it were me, like I said, prior to Friday, I would have been like, yeah, you know, I think he could probably gonna get out of there. But now I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I just got a voice message. Hold on. Let me put it on mute. Let me put it on. Okay, it wasn't nothing. It wasn't no dirt. So if I get some stuff, I'll come back later on. I am getting ready to put something on the community wall, on the members only community wall. I'm about to put a couple of pictures. on the community wall, the members only community wall. Y'all know what that means. When I post pictures, y'all know that just means keep your eye out. I post pictures, keep your eyes. All right. All right, y'all. Let me get out of here. I gotta run some errands. If I get back in time, I'll try to do a tribe meeting before Potomac. It's gonna depend on what time I get back home. All right. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace. Mwah.